Hello, I'm Otto, and welcome to episode 16 of my Factorio Space Age Guide. So in the last episode, we continued working on the mall, and at the end of the episode, I went and placed lights all over the base. Yep, something that I've been forgetting to do. I also did what I said I was going to do and adjusted the steel blueprint, or the steel ghosts, I should say. And now those are set up and ready to go. And yeah, so in this episode, we are going to continue working on the mall. And all right, so let's get into it. So we definitely need some of. Did I grab some? I did. Okay. Was there anything else that I missed? I don't think so. Alright, so let's hurry up and slam these down. Okay, so we have rails, we have the train station. Above it, we are going to have, let's see, the ramps, elevated rail ramps, and elevated rails above that. And then we're also going to be omitting these two. I kind of played around with trying to fit in the hazardous concrete and hazardous reinforced concrete, but ultimately we kind of need this space too. So this is gonna, I know this looks funky right now, and that's okay. This side will look a little bit more normal, quote unquote normal, let's say. And this is everything that we need for the rest of the game. Oh. No! Okay, there we go. My goodness. Alright, and all of these will need an output. So we'll just go ahead and give them some chests. Okay, so let's continue work over here, because this is actually the end for this one. So we're gonna have the steel. This is steel and copper. So we have steel and copper being branched off here. And this is, what was this? This is pipe. Pipe and gears. This is heat pipe. And this is the nuclear generator, nuclear reactor, whatevs. Okay, so I also have a lot of the space age specific stuff. So we're gonna have the cargo bays. Yes, cargo bays are gonna be there. The thrusters are gonna be here. The crusher will be here, and the, I don't know, asteroid collector, grabby army thingy or whatever it's called, it's gonna be here. You're gonna have the cargo landing pad, yep, and the rocket silo here. So that is everything that we're gonna need for our shopping mall. Now we just need to get it all hooked up and make sure that we did everything right. All the power poles will be in the same positions. And that is all the power poles we're going to need. Okay, so when we have the green circuits coming up, this is the last place that needs red and green circuits. I believe this needed some too. Wait a minute. I was like, okay, wait a minute, how did I manage this again? So this is the pipes. So this is going to come up. We kind of need to do some funky stuff. And we are, because like what we need to do is, actually this is going to be back here because of some of the funkiness, but we are going to, did I have to move this up? No. wait a minute. I think something... No, this is right. Part of the funky stuff that we're going to have is we're actually going to have stuff wrapping around the back and coming back through. Some stuff is going to cross from one side all the way over. Notably the steel with the electronic motors, and then the low density structure and processing units, the blue circuits, eventually coming through here as well. So let's just go through and kind of determine like what everything needs. So I do know that the low density structure is going to be coming pretty much right up to here, and then putting across. These two need it, and then it can just go right over here. So this is where the low density structure is going to be. This does not need any, this does not need any. This needs the blue circuits, this needs the blue circuits. This one needs, yeah, blue circuits, and it also needs motors and steel. And the pipe. So this is the last thing that needs pipe. So we're going to have pipe coming up to here. And then across the back, we are going to have some funny stuff happen. I think I did this right. Yes. So this is going to be our concrete, and it's going to wrap around the back. We're going to have a separate build for concrete and reinforced concrete, because we need concrete for the rocket silo, we need concrete for the cargo landing pad, and we need concrete for the nuclear reactor and the centrifuge. So these two and these two both need concrete, and then these two need reinforced concrete, and oh boy, they need a lot, and it is expensive. Why did this go in the wrong direction? So we're going to end up having this branch off here, and oh look, more funky stuff. So we're going to have, even though this has access from here, we're going to give it an extra slot. And same with the rocket silo. We're going to give this one an extra slot, and then this is here for this, for the elevated ramp. Okay, and that is, I mean, there's not really much more to figure out. I know it seems like this was easy, but I promise you, this was not. This was one of the most, like, awful things that I've done. This is going to go all the way through and end down here. So the reason why I have this set up the way that I do is, wait a minute, do we need some? We do. Sorry, I need to have this come through. This is the, what in the world do I have going on here? Oh, you know what? Actually, I bring this down a little bit more, so that we can actually collect some of the concrete and reinforced concrete for personal use. Where do I... There. Okay. And then this comes over here. Alright, so we needed that for the electric motors and the steel here, and the electric motors and steel here. And actually, nope, they all need steel. Okay. Now we just need to hook everything up. Let's start with here, because this is kind of where we left off. Right? This had everything... I believe. Actually, it didn't need that, so okay. This was green circuit, so that comes over to here. All right, so we can start at the rails. So the rails need iron sticks, which we have coming from here. The iron sticks need iron plates, which are coming from here on a belt that came up through the middle. It also needs stone. So the stone is coming through the middle here and ending here. And then it needs steel, and the steel, it is going to be collecting off this guy here. We'll pull it off this side. The train also needs steel, and yes, this also needs steel and electric engine unit, electric motors. And then so the pipe's coming up this way. Electric motors and steel. Concrete's coming from here and coming down through here. And that leaves this was the green, the blue circuits. Okay. That's everything for the rocket silo. This guy has reinforced concrete. This guy has steel. This one just needs steel coming from here, and it's got reinforced concrete coming from the side. We could give it another one over here. We're not going to worry about it. All right. Steel we've got covered. Concrete we've got covered. Processing units. Sorry, this was the processing units. The steel is coming from up here. And all of these need output chests. Right. So that one's done. Now for the good stuff. Blue circuits coming from here. Steel and motors coming from here. Sorry, not steel. Motors coming from here, and then LDS coming from the bottom belt. This one has steel coming from the bottom belt, and blue circuits and LDS coming from the top belt. This one needs steel, which is coming from the bottom belt here, and electric motors coming from the bottom belt, and blue circuits coming from the top belt. And then the crushers need LDS coming from the top, and steel and electric motors coming from the bottom. Okay, and last two. So this was copper bars and steel, and that is all this guy needs, is copper bars and steel. This one also needs copper plates and steel, and concrete. The concrete is coming up from here. We're dragging this all the way, doing some, I said there would be some funky stuff, here we go. Dragging this through, doing some funky stuff, and now that one's is getting concrete. It also needs red circuits, which are coming off the middle belt over here. Heat exchanger needs copper and steel, and it needs pipes. The pipes are coming from here, from the bottom. Centrifuge needs needs gears, which is getting from the bottom. Needs red circuits, which is getting from the middle line over here, and steel, which is coming from this line here, and concrete, which is coming from here. That is everything except lights. Oh, lights. I don't know, just slap them down wherever at this point. As long as we can look over and see, we're good, right? Okay, so now we need to circuit connect everything, and we're going to do the same thing that we've done with the rest of them. We are just going to go kind of line by line, or at least like section by section. So boilers, we're going to need, how many do I have down here? So we have 30 and 60 of the steam engines. We're going to end up doubling this, and unfortunately a lot of the starter base is in the way of how I normally do it, but whatever. I guess we can, like, we could technically just do another 30 out here. It doesn't really matter. It isn't going to negatively affect anything. It's just kind of going to cut off a large portion of our access towards the north side. But since we're going to be making more, now I'm going to include the stone furnace in the blueprint. I don't think that I'm going to allow this to create any more stone furnaces. So I will probably end up removing this, and maybe I should make the blueprint now. Well, it's going to be weird to make it now because we are going to have some concrete coming in, and the concrete is going to be coming in from over here because we're going to have a concrete and reinforced concrete build right here next door. Oh, and you know what? We cannot forget about this dude over here. Space Platform Starter Pack. This guy needs some processing units. Now, it's really funny because the amount of time and effort that I spent dealing with this, it was extremely time consuming. And the best part is that most people won't want to deal with something like this, and they will just create like a bot mall, and we're going to have access to bots pretty soon. But me personally, I am a huge fan of a mall like this. Have I used bot malls before? Yes. I kind of feel guilty doing it because it's like you kind of feel like you're cheating a little bit, right? Okay, so let's get this set up. So I'm only gonna have 30 of these. We're only gonna make 30, and then we're cutting this guy off. So enable if normal quality boiler. Make sure if you're fiddling with these to go back to normal quality. Enable if boiler is less than 30. And to match it, we're gonna enable if the steam engine is less than 60. Let's see. I don't think we're gonna need a ton more of these, but the steel furnace, we're gonna enable if steel furnace is less than 200. We will probably end up accidentally, or quote unquote accidentally, overproducing these, but it is what it is. Pumps. So in the past, I generally make like 10, but we are not going to make 10. And the reason why is because the rocket capacity is 50. So we're going to make 50. Same with the offshore pump. You don't make that many if you do not have the DLC, but since we have the DLC, we are going to do a stack size rocket capacity, which is 20. Oops. So if you're constantly reaching down for the wires, you can use Alt-R for the wire, but something external outside of Factorio prevents me from using Alt-R. I could change it, I just really don't care. I don't mind reaching down to click this. So chemical plants. Chemical plants rocket capacity is 10. We are going to enable if chemical plants are less than 30. Chemical plants are something that we always need to make sure that we have on hand. Cargo wagon. I like to generally set these decently high. So we're going to enable if cargo wagon, I like to have at least minimum like 4 trains worth. I think in the past I've made like enough to have like 80 wagons. But we are actually going to do trains a little bit different this time. I am not going to use the standard 1x4. We are going to be using a 1x2 train, and the main reason why is I want to have the ability to move products decently fast, but have a really tight area. Using this city block, it is really difficult if you're trying to create train blueprints with this city block. And the reason why we have this city block is because we are pressed for space on kind of Vulcanus, definitely Fulgora. The enemy on Gleba kind of helps prevent us from spreading too far too fast. And Aquilo, if you even have trains, is also extremely tight on space, considering that you start on this dinky little island that's probably about the size of my screen right now, and you have to just add on to it. Yeah, that's loads of fun. I can't wait for that. Aquilo is probably going to be the most disastrous part of this playthrough. Let's just put it that way. I'm relatively inexperienced with it, but I'm going to do a bunch of testing before we get there, so, you know, it'll have my flair on it. Anyways, we're going to enable if cargo wagon. We're going to do 20. This is going to give me 10 trains worth of cargo wagons, and I am perfectly fine with that. The storage tank, similar situation. Well, I need to connect it. I did the chemical plants. I'm also going to do these. So the storage containers, if you watched my last playthrough, you would know that I tend to set these around 10, but not this time. We are dealing with rockets. So we're going to set it to 50. That is the rocket capacity. Trains, we're just going to do an equal part of what we did for cargo wagons. So we're going to do 10 trains, since I'm going to be doing 1 by 2 trains. Oil refineries can stay the way it is. It's a stack size of 10 to begin with, and rocket capacity of 10. So we're only going to use 10. The blueprint that we're going to end up starting with is going to have slightly more than 10. I think we're going to start with 12. But yes, we're just going to do 10. You know, okay, you know what? I want to make sure that I definitely have enough of these. And I am going to be using 12. We're going to be doing that very soon. I think in the next episode, if we can get through enough of this, and I might go have a chat with the locals. A long, painful chat. We'll see. I might clear some more out after this. And the oil that we're going to end up tapping is down here. So I will also need to kind of clear a path over to it. So I will probably end up doing a lot of that at the end of this episode. I will clear a path down to the oil, and then I will go over and kill some biters. Okay, so the pipes, whoops, wrong side. Rocket capacity is 200, so we're going to set this for 200. This is definitely something that... some of the planets have easier ways of making some of the things, and the first planet that we go to definitely has an easier way of making the pipes. So this isn't a huge deal. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people just don't even include the piping, the pipes in their malls. Underground pipe is 50, so we're going to do 100. And we got everything here. Make sure to double check your work. I've said it before, but one of the very first playthroughs that I had, I did not properly set the storage tank, the fluid storage tank, and that was largely because I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just kind of following a guide. The guide didn't really explain like what this, like why connect it with a wire. It just said do this, and I was like, okay. And so I didn't set it up properly. And whenever I came back at some point to get some more storage tanks, I opened the inventory, and the entire thing was full. And if you have played Factorio before, you will know that if you have a full container of storage tanks, you could literally transfer these to other games and you would still not use all of those storage tanks. Unless you're just one of those people that for some reason likes to flop like 20 storage tanks down to collect oil or something, or I don't know, or you like to store water for some reason. Anyways, moving along. Double check your work. That's the point of the story. And that is not even the first time. That is certainly not the last time I've done it either. I recently had a situation where I did the same thing with logistics storage. The yellow chests came through and I caught it early. I only had 800, but That was still plenty more than enough than I was going to use for that run. Okay, so electric furnace. We're going to enable if electric furnace. Now, we're definitely going to need more of these, because once we start replacing the steel furnaces, this is what we're replacing it with. So I'm going to set this pretty high. My last playthrough, I probably didn't come close to setting it anywhere near high enough, because I started stamping down a ton of furnace stacks, and yeah, we started running out of materials very fast. My stone was very low, my iron wasn't coming in fast enough. We only had a couple of these, and the bots, when they started placing things, just kind of scattered them all over the world. Nothing that was substantive enough to actually start, you know, helping me out. So I might even just set this way too high. Maybe we'll start with 500, because you know what, it's no. Okay, we're not going to do that, and here's why. It is going to be different this time. Why is it going to be different this time? Well, because we are not in dire need of tearing all of this down at once. We can literally take chunks of it. So let's say this. This is 96. So if we literally just destroyed all of this and replaced it, 200 is plenty enough to take care of that. And we wouldn't do like 2 iron at a time anyways. We would do like 1 iron and a copper, and then maybe another iron and a steel, then maybe another copper and stone brick. You know, it'll be like over time. So 200 is fine. All right, these rocket capacity is 50. The rail signal, 50, right? Yeah, 50. And same for the other one. The chain rail signal is 50. Enable if chain rail is greater than 50. The fluid wagon, we're only going to be doing 1-2 trains. Let's just do 8. That's probably more than we will need, but 8 is fine. Pump jacks. All right. Pump jacks, I believe, stack to 20. Stack to 20 and a rocket capacity of 20. I am good with that. So the steam turbines. We're going to stack this to 83, and there's a very specific reason why I've done that. Now, I haven't fully decided. I was thinking about doing... because in the last guide that I did, I had a 4 nuclear reactor nuclear build, and just for the sake of doing things different and maybe showing them different ways of doing things, I might actually do an 8 reactor build or a 6 reactor build. So I haven't really quite decided on that yet. And if we do a different reactor size, that will very much change this. And it's not like a 1-to-1 ratio. It's a like, for instance, if you did 8 reactors instead of 4, it's not going from 83 to 166. It's probably going to be more like 180 something, 190 something. I haven't done the math on it, but it would be quite a bit more. And that applies to the heat exchangers as well. So we're going to pretend like we're going to set up for 4. And we're going to enable if the steam engine is... I think it was 83. Or was it 70 something? No, oh, anyways. Moving along. We want to be making some. Let's just put it that way. So the heat exchangers, I definitely remember was 48. You know, even though I've done the math on these like so many times, because I end up doing the math on them every time I play the game. I go, okay, how many do I need? This, count it all up, do the math, figure these out. I always forget. I don't know why. Centrifuge, we're just gonna enable if centrifuge is less than 10. Rocket capacity of 1. Oh my. Stack size of 50. That is insane. Think about a rocket can only carry 1. We can carry 50 in our back pocket. Ah. Alright, well, we're going to do 10. They they really do not want us taking these off the planet. Nuclear reactor is going to be 1. Yep. So nuclear reactors, kind of lining up with these two. We're going to enable if nuclear reactor is less than 4. And did I connect this? Yes. Heat pipes. This one's maybe a little bit different too. We're going to need heat pipes in the far future. And it would be nice to have enough of these on hand to be able to deal with problems. So we're gonna bump this up to 300. Normally I would have it somewhere around 100, maybe a little bit more, like 100 and, I don't know, 20. We're gonna do 300 though. We want to be making these a decent amount of time when we don't have at least 300. We need to backtrack a little bit. Train stations and rails. Rails is easy. We're going to enable if rails are less than 1,000. And the train capacity, rocket capacity, sorry, is 100. Train stations, I would almost prefer to just be like, boom, 200. Sorry, not 200, 20. Rocket capacity is 10, stack size is 10. You know what? Let's do it. No. I don't need as many train stations as I've had in the past. We're doing things different this time. All right, we're gonna enable if the train station is 10. So I'm not gonna go into. As I say, I'm not gonna go into detail. I'm probably gonna go into detail about it. No, okay. Let's just the elevated rails, the ramp, and the actual rails. You might think, oh, wow, that's really expensive. Steel plates and reinforced concrete, and like you have to, like, you know, when you take the rails, like this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, imagine how expensive that would be as an elevated rail. Like, that's crazy. Except the way that these work, actually, I can just ghost this in for you real quick. So this is just the elevated platform piece. So you would then use a regular rail to connect these, and it tells you how often you need to place them. So this is 4 worth, but it's actually 32 rails. It looks like you need 1 roughly every 8 pieces, 10 pieces. Oh, because 1 is right on top of it. So there's about 8 open sections in between them. And yeah. So we are going to need a lot of them, just maybe not as many as you might have thought about. And the ramps are definitely, 1, more expensive, and 2, we don't need that many of them. So let's enable if, what is, I don't know the rocket capacity, 1, of course. Stack size is 10. I think we might go, we'll just do 10. This is the one we need the least of. This one, on the other hand, we're going to need quite a few more. We're going to enable if elevated rail. Oh, rocket capacity. Stack size 20 though, so that's not too bad. We're going to go with at least 100. The rocket and the space platform, sorry, cargo landing pad. These are easy. These are just 100, and they're in these space sections. So cargo landing pad, enable if cargo landing pad is less than 1. And you know what? The rocket silo, we end up using more rocket silos. They are just as expensive to craft as they are in the base game. But the rocket parts within the rocket silo, these rocket parts are way cheaper. So in the base game, they are 10 processing units, 10 low density structure, and 10 rocket fuel. But here in Space Age, they are 1. And each rocket part gives 2% of rocket progress. We'll cover that again in the future. Don't worry, you don't have to remember that now. But we're going to enable if rocket silo is less than 1. We're just going to start with 1. At some point in the game, I will probably bump this up. And one of the hard parts about the rocket silo is the rocket capacity is too heavy for a rocket. So wherever you need a rocket silo, you either need to bring the materials to craft it with you. 1,000 steel plate, 200 processing unit, 200 electric engine unit, 100 pipe, and 1,000 concrete. Or you need to be able to make that material on site, and that is for each individual rocket. And to give you an idea, I typically have at least 8 rockets per planet. Gleba is maybe Gleba's kind of a pain, but we will cross that bridge when we get there. But I would still prefer to have at least something like 8 rockets per planet. So that's what we're going to end up planning for, and we're going to deal with, like I said, we're going to deal with a lot of that when we get there. Now, as for the DLC stuff, the space platform items, we're just going to do 10 for each of them. I believe the rocket capacity for all of them is 10 except for the, thrusters? Thrusters is 5? Rocket capacity for thrusters is 5. So we're going to enable if thrusters, we're going to do 10. And same for the crusher. Enable if crusher is less than 10. The asteroid collector, enable if asteroid collector. Yep, also rocket capacity of 10. And enable if, what was this, the cargo bay. Enable if cargo bay is less than 10. Once we get to the point, once we make red circuits, I was going to be like, yeah, let's go see if we have quality modules. Once we get quality, these are a very, very good thing to try to pump quality out of. So we're going to end up putting quality into, and whenever I discussed modules, like this is where they go. They go inside the assemblers, they go inside the chemical plants, they go inside the refineries. Anything that is a building that produces something, as long as it is over a certain rank, should have the ability to place modules into it. As a matter of fact, if it can't, like the stone furnace, there's just not going to be any module slots. Steel furnace, there's not going to be any module slots. The electric furnace, there are module slots. Where did that go, by the way? It's right here. Module slots. And then there you go. You can also, it shows the allowed modules, so whenever it does have a module slot, you can see, oh, I can put productivity in this, or, you know, whatever. And there's generally nothing here except for this one that you can put productivity into. Nothing that makes any of these. Maybe this? Nope, not even that. The sticks, the copper wire. Copper wire and sticks, that's about it. So it's usually for production-based stuff, like stuff that's creating the items. Okay, just a quick little glance. Double check your work. Make sure I did all of these. We're at 39 minutes. I need to connect some of this though. So let's we're gonna quickly go through. Yep. We're gonna quickly go through and connect all of these. Right, so that is iron. We need copper. And steel. And those two will come through here, and okay, so there's that. Gears, we can just do like half. Oh, we already set that up. All right. I was gonna say we can just do like half a belt of gears because we're only gonna be putting half a belt out there anyways. And then okay, so whenever I mentioned that the front blocks an item, just remember too that it's the same situation here. So the items that are going to be allowed to go through are the items that are on the bottom side of this line here, out of the front. The way that you would maybe avoid that, like if you had, for instance, everything was backing up, one of the ways that you could avoid that would be to have a situation like this. Never mind, that still doesn't work. Ignore everything that I just said. It would work if it was like this, though. So now the bottom side of the top part and the top side of the bottom part would be allowed to go through. This is, in my opinion, just kind of a waste. So we're just, you know, I'm fine with this. And that's just what's going to be going on with that one. All right, so this is good. This is good. I did not set up one of these for copper, but that's okay. We can do it after. Wait a minute. What is the... Oh, copper on this side and copper on this side. Okay. So since we've now taken copper... you know what? We've only taken one belt of copper off because this is half a belt. This will be half a belt. So I'm going to just do that. Green and red, we have... Screwing up our system, but whatever. It is what it is. Right, that is iron plates, and now we need stone and stone brick. So that is going to be right next to the steel. Where was the stone brick? Stone brick was here. Alright, so stone brick is on this side, and like that. Stone brick is going here, allowed to go under. Stone is coming around. Nope, stone needs... And then stone goes through. Okay, there's stone and stone brick. What else do we need? We need steel and we need electric engines. So based on how I have this set up and allowing the steel to go through, the steel needs to be on the right side of the belt. So the way that we're going to do that is we are going down to here, and the steel is just going to wrap right back around into this guy here. Okay, I think that's all we're going to set up for now. The LDS, the engine, electric motors, which we'll have to eventually come down and do something like that. You know what? Just so that I can keep my things straight. That's electronic engines. Let's go ahead and hook it all up. Make sure it's all working. We are 45 minutes into this episode, so I'm going to hurry this up. Try to do this fast. We appear to be missing some copper on this belt. Problem solved. Okay, we have pipes, we have steel coming in here. We've got copper, we've got iron. We've got stone brick and stone. We've got iron in the middle. Boilers. This one's gonna take a bit of time because the engines, they take absolutely forever to craft. I was like, wait a minute, he doesn't have anything? And that's why we turn it all on and then check. And there again. This is why we check all of this. Wait a minute, that's the wrong... Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Did I need to have... Hold on. I did not set this up. I must have messed up somewhere. Not a big deal. We're just gonna add a longhand inserter here, so then that can collect those. We don't need a bunch of those anyways. So that's getting engines. This is obviously making some, so the engines are going. Everyone over here is working. We can at least check these, though. Even the ones that you can't create, they will at least fill up with stuff. Except for the red. This is stuff we don't have, right? Okay, that's good. That's good enough. That's good enough. Now. See? Double check your work, folks. Oh boy. Do we have any green inserters? It needs red. Alright. Well, red circuits are what we will be working towards next. Our goal right now is to... Our next goal is to get to chemical science, blue science. For that, we need engine units, which we have the ability to make. We need advanced circuits, and advanced circuits, the red circuits, need plastic, green circuits, and copper cable. To make plastic, we need petroleum gas, and for petroleum gas, we need oil. So oil is definitely what is on the horizon, and then sulfur also uses petroleum gas. Plastic is petroleum gas and coal. Sulfur is Petroleum gas and water, I believe. Sulfur is water and petroleum gas, and plastic is coal and petroleum gas, yes. So we're aiming to, like, red circuits are the next kind of big hurdle. Sulfur's not a big deal because in the process of making plastic, we kind of like accidentally trip and stumble over sulfur anyway, so it just kind of like it's just a natural fit when we make plastic. Okay, so that is gonna be it for this episode. I just really want to check and make sure that all this is good. Wow, that is fast. What is that craft time? 0.5 seconds for those? Are you kidding me? That's actually kind of crazy. Especially when you compare it to some of the other stuff. Anyways, that is going to be it for me for now. In the next episode, I believe we're doing oil. So we're going to start oil processing. No. I take that back. Ignore. We are doing concrete in the next episode. We are going to make a concrete build here. That will help feed all of our things over here that we have yet, that we cannot create yet. Actually, everything that needs concrete, we cannot create yet. But we are going to be doing a concrete and reinforced concrete build here. And then I believe we will do oil next door. I don't even know what symbol I want to use for this. Do I even want to use oil? We'll do this one. Okay. We will be making oil refineries here, and we will leave a spot open next door for the chemical plants. Okay, this is 52 minutes. This is a long episode. I apologize. I will try to keep them between 30 and 45 minutes if possible, but they will occasionally run longer. Okay, that is it for me for this episode. I will see you in the next episode, and thanks for watching.